and we'll help you out. So today's session format is really simple. We're going to have about 75 minutes. It's going to begin with preset questions. And then after we have the preset questions for the panelists here today, we're going to open the forum and we're going to ask the audience if they have any questions, and we're going to provide some time for the audience to ask questions. And a notice, we just want to let you know that the session is recorded. So we're going to have audio and visual recording in progress. We just want to give you that notification. And for our record keeping for our for today's session, we'd love it if you can fill out the attendance. Our attendance is kind of a way for us to know who's in the room and to see, where you're coming from. So we ask you that you provide some information. We do have a link that we've just put in our chat area. So if you can complete the form, it's a virtual form, so you have the link there. And this way you can participate in the raffles. A raffle is a really good opportunity for you to get something, a nice gift or something out of this session. And that way, by filling out the short survey, the short link, at the short link, you're going to be able to enter into those raffles. And it just asks for some basic information so that we know where to send that prize if you do win. And don't forget to get your WOVA app for the 2021 West Contra Costa Education Fair. It's really simple. You can go wherever you download your podcast, or not podcast, your apps on Google Play or the App Store. Your invitation code is EdFair 2021, and you'll see it here on the screen. That's how you're going to type it in, capital E, capital F, and then 2021, EdFair 2021. And the WOVA app, it looks like that. It's a big WHOVA. You'll look for that in your app, and that's the color it'll be, and that's what it'll look like. And this way you can explore professional profiles of the event speakers and the attendees. You can send in-app messages and exchange contact information. You can also network with other attendees, or you can find other attendees or educators or networks. And you can receive update information or notifications from organizers, as well as to be able to access the event agenda. And so it's going to be really useful for you, especially as you're trying to figure out, what the next session is, or another session that you might want to go to, or someone that you might want to talk to that you've, met through this session and you might want to follow up with. All right. So, welcome again to the 2021 West Contra Costa Education Fair. It's this week, January 16th through the 23rd. So you definitely want to download that WOVA app, because you're going to be able to have the full listing, the full agenda of all the sessions that are going on and who's going to be there. And we're sure that you're going to be able to find information about the West Contra Costa Unified School Districts. And it'll give you parents and caregivers a chance to explore your children's unique needs and to learn about incredible opportunities available in the West Contra Costa schools. So you can keep participating virtually by signing into, of course, you're here in this session, but you can also sign in to the sessions that are going all throughout the week. And we will ask you for some feedback, of course, because we always want to be improving. We want to make sure that this year's West Contra Costa Education Fair was of service to you, that was valuable to you, and that we can improve for next year. So we will be asking for feedback. So it'll be some simple questions. So something like, how well did the session meet your expectations? And you'll be able to quickly click through it. And we really appreciate it if you could fill that feedback out after the session. And we will have a breakout meet and greets, which is really great because you'll get to meet the folks that are part of our panel, and you'll have the opportunity to ask more in-depth questions, questions maybe specifically about your child or your situation. And this will be on the following links. So they're individual school Zoom links. And let's say you want to find out more information about Chavez Elementary. Well, you would click on that first blue link. And if you wanted to check out Richmond High School, you would click on that last blue link. And the session's actually going to run from 6:15 to 7 p.m. And that's going to be right after this session. It's a live session, so it's a great opportunity for you to get your questions answered, especially if you didn't get a chance to ask those, or if something popped up after our open Q&A today. So today's session, we want you to meet the Richmond family of schools. It's a great opportunity for you to find out who and what is going on with the Richmond family of schools. And we're excited to present the panelists that are here today representing the different schools. The panelists, of course, I'm Elizabeth Flores. I'm a PhD candidate at UC Davis School of Education. I'll be your moderator for today. And we have several panelists today, and they're going to have the opportunity to introduce themselves today. And we will start with, if you're ready, the representative from Chavez Elementary can go ahead and start introducing themselves, their name, their school, their title, and a brief description of the scope of your work.
Good evening. My name is Allison Everett. I'm the principal at Chavez Elementary. It's my 6th year serving at Chavez, and we have an amazing team of teachers and a wonderful community. My role is, as I mentioned, principal, so I oversee all aspects of the school.
Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're glad to see your friendly face. And let's go on to Ford Elementary.
Hi, good evening. I'm Rebecca Ridenauer. I'm the school principal at Ford, and it's my role to oversee all parts of the school, our instructional program, and our culture and climate. And yeah, Ford is just a great place to be. We have a very committed group of teachers and staff, and people describe us as really like a community and a family.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for that introduction. Really appreciate it. And let's go ahead and check in with the panelists from Verde K-8 School.
Good evening, Eric Acosta Verpraskas, principal of Verde K-8 School, home of the Star Scholars. Really proud to be here tonight and tell you all about the exciting opportunities that come with being a Verde K-8 Star Scholar. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your introduction. Next, we are going to hear from Helms Middle School.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jessica Petrilli. I'm the principal of Helms Middle School. This is my 9th year working at Helms and my 7th as the principal. I'm very proud to work here, and go Cougars.
Go Cougars. Let's hear from the Richmond High School representative.
Hi, my name is Jose de Leon. I'm the principal at Richmond High School. I think also Mr. Hillier, assistant principal, is here with us today. We welcome everyone to Richmond High School, and we expect to have some time to tell you a little bit more about our programs. Buenas tardes, soy el señor de Leon, director de Richmond High School. También está con nosotros el señor Hillier, uno de los subdirectores. Le queremos dar a todos la bienvenida. Y a través de este programa vamos a contestarles algunas preguntas que ustedes tengan. Gracias.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your introduction. Can we hear from Riverside Elementary?
Hi, my name is Christine Gant Hatcher. I am the principal at Riverside Elementary School. This is my 7th year at Riverside and in West Contra Costa Unified School District. And I, like my colleagues that have preceded me, feel like Riverside is a fantastic community. And I have lots of positive things to say and share about some of the things that we are doing. So thank you for having me here this evening.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for that warm introduction. Let's hear from West County Mandarin K-8 School.
Good evening. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm principal of West County Mandarin School. We are a dual language immersion school where students become bilingual in Mandarin Chinese, the world's most spoken language, as well as in English. And we also are a school that has an international baccalaureate program where we foster students' international mindedness. And it's a project-based learning, inquiry-based program that I look forward to telling you more about this evening. We are a school that's part of our district and that's open to students of all backgrounds. No one needs to know Chinese to go, and it's a very diverse school. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Really look forward to learning more about that program that you have there. So we're going to go ahead and open it up with some starting questions.
Liz, sorry, real quick. We skipped John Hillier from Richmond High.
I'm so sorry, John. My apologies. Please go ahead and give us your introduction. We waited for the best for last right here.
No problem. Principal De Leon of Richmond High School already kind of gave our introduction. So I'm just here in support, and Principal De Leon will be able to answer the questions. So if anything else, he can throw it to me. So I'm one of the assistant principals for Richmond High, and lovely to be here.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right, and I believe I got everybody now. So we're going to start with a couple questions, and we'll try to move these around, and that way we can get through the list of questions and really do so thoughtfully. So I'll start with, what is the leader's vision for the school? And maybe we can start off down the list with Chavez School, with Allison.
Excellent, thank you. Our vision at Chavez Elementary is really to prepare our students for college and career success, both academically and social emotionally. We really work to help our students to learn how to advocate for themselves and to feel empowered for taking ownership of their own learning. We want students to enjoy learning, to enjoy reading and enjoy math, and to have a strong sense of their capabilities, a strong sense of self-efficacy. And this is certainly my vision, but the vision of our team, our instructional leadership team, our teaching team, our staff, our families, and even our students have a say in our vision.
Thank you so much for that. We're going to go ahead and go with Ford. Rebecca, with the same question. What is the leader's vision for the school?
Yeah, at Ford, our vision is to really connect academics to the real world, and to make sure that we're developing students' critical thinking skills and meeting their unique needs. Individualized instruction and support is really important to us. And we're also a community where it's really important for us to focus on perseverance and kindness. Some other things that are important to us is just rigor and providing culturally relevant, rigorous curriculum for our students to prepare them for the 21st century. We're also a school that believes in PBIS and restorative justice practices, and really helping students reflect and learn through things that happen. So yeah, those are some things that are important to us here at Ford.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Let's go ahead and with the same question. What is the leader's vision for the school for Verde K-8? Eric?
My vision is our collective vision. We have talked to our stakeholders over the years, our parents, our students, our staff, our community leaders. And we've been painstakingly crafting our vision and our mission statements to ensure that everybody's voice is included. So our collective vision is that all Verde K-8 graduates will achieve their fullest academic, social, and emotional potential and become joyful learners and transformative leaders of their community. Our short-term mission is to provide a safe and racially equitable and inclusive environment that's rooted in high expectations and rigorous academics that allows Verde K-8 stars to gain confidence, develop a growth mindset, and be empowered to become problem solvers who choose their own future.
Thank you so much for that thoughtful response. We're going to continue down the line with the same question, and then after everybody presents their vision, we'll switch around with the other questions, just so you know how we're going to be moving forward. Let's go ahead and move with the same question. What is the leader's vision for the school for Helms? Jessica?
Yes, hi. So the vision at Helms is, first and foremost, we have to have a welcoming and identity affirming environment. We're a community where the adult staff care deeply about our students, and we're very dedicated to their academics and their social emotional well-being. We do function as a full service community school that partners with resources and expertise from the greater community, where students and families' needs are listened to and met. Students are exposed to enriching experiences both inside and outside the classroom at Helms. And we have robust standards-based instruction that challenges our students and really leads to meaningful tasks. There's enrichment through leadership opportunities, interests, groups, clubs, athletic opportunities, and we celebrate our students and focus on their positive behaviors that we can celebrate, monitor, and teach directly to them.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I really appreciate your answer. Let's go ahead and do the same question for Richmond School.
Well, thank you. So our mission is the culmination of the elementaries and the middle school, which is to prepare students to think critically, to collaborate respectfully, to advocate for themselves, and to start looking at college and career. I think that's the biggest point is college and career. We want our students to be ready to have choices when they graduate high school. That's the end of one stage and the beginning of the next. So it is very important that students have the opportunity to be able to choose what they want to do after they graduate high school. Más que nada, Richmond High School quiere plantear todo lo que está haciendo desde la primaria por la secundaria llegando a la prepa. Que los alumnos aprendan a aprender críticamente, colaborar con otros alumnos y también que aboguen por lo que ellos necesitan. Más que nada, todo esto es con el plan de prepararlos para la universidad o una carrera. Queremos asegurarnos que los alumnos tengan diferentes opciones cuando terminen su carrera de high school. Opciones son muy importantes y preparándose académicamente les puede dar esas avenidas para seguir a la universidad o buscar algo que les ayude en lo vocacional.
De León, nada más para que sepa, Otilia nos está ayudando con la traducción automática, entonces en lo que usted está hablando, ella está traduciendo inmediatamente.
¿En inglés?
En español.
Oh, okay.
Gracias.
De nada.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right, we're going to have the same question so what is the leader's vision for the school for Riverside? And just a quick reminder before we go into that, there is a link to complete the form for attendance and to participate in the raffle. It's within the chat. All right, so if we can have Riverside, Christine?
Okay, before I start, I just want to say if I disappear, I'll be back. I'm getting this message saying that my internet connection is unstable, but such is the place where we find ourselves.
Yeah.
At the risk of being redundant, Riverside is a place where we are a community of learners. And so what does that mean? We seek to meet kids where they are. We seek to meet them where they are intellectually, academically, and emotionally. And our role, even as teachers, is really to guide. So we see ourselves as facilitators in providing kids with opportunities to express their learning in multiple ways. And we look at the achievement. Forward progression is important. It isn't just about grades, because we know that kids are more than that. And so we really want them to, we help them examine who they are, help them blossom. A simple analogy, we're gardeners, we're tending our garden, and we want to make sure that all of our plants bloom in ways and continue to thrive as such. So we want our kids to be advocates, learn to speak for themselves, be able to articulate what their needs are. We also seek to provide supports, not only to students, but to their families, and not from a deficit lens. I think that Eric said we want to make sure that we are including a growth mindset, not just for our kids, but for our entire community. So I guess we want to meet kids where they are and be value added to their lives, and provide them with options to contribute in positive ways in the communities in which they choose to serve.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that reminder of a growth mindset and kind of putting together what some of the other participants have already stated. So the next school we're going to hear from is West County, and that is going to be with question 1. What is the leader's vision for the school?
Okay, thank you. Well, at West County Mandarin School, the vision and mission in essence is to prepare every student with the 21st century skills to be able to thrive and lead in an increasingly interconnected world and global economy. And prepare them for those jobs that may have not even been invented yet, that our students will need to be ready for to be successful. However, as far as the mission, as far as the vision of the school, we believe that at our school, like it's been said by other principals, that we're all leaders at our school. And so we created a vision that's based on core values and characteristics that our community as a whole came together. Our students, our teachers, our support staff, our parents all came together in circles and community circles to decide, what do we want for this school? What are our values that will lead our school? Because the best schools, as all these other great principals know here, are based on values and not based on an individual alone. And so the West County Mandarin School vision is a thriving learning community that embodies 6 key values and characteristics in alignment with the International Baccalaureate Framework. And that includes a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community committed to anti-racism, caring for our world and each other, academic excellence and rigor, perseverance, inquiry, thinking skills, and well-being, both social and physical well-being for all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that thorough response. I really appreciate it. And I hope everybody got a sense of what the leader's vision is for the school. So we were able to hear from every representative here from all the different schools that are in attendance. And now what we're going to do is going to switch gears just a little bit, and we're going to move into question number 2. What is something you want people to know about your school? And I'm going to pick at random, maybe not so random, 2 or 3 schools to answer that question, and then we'll move on to the next question. And that way everybody gets to have kind of a variety of opportunities to answer different questions and to hear from different schools. All right, so I'm going to ask Verde K8, what is something you want people to know about your school?
Just one thing, huh? Well, I think we're small. We're 350 students, but we serve K-8. That means your child is going to be seen, and they're going to be heard, and they're going to be showered and supported with all kinds of cool things. I'd also like to shout out our adoption of our really rigorous and highly rigorous and engaging curriculum. It's our EL education for literacy and Eureka Math for math. If you look up the rankings of these particular curriculum, you'll find that they're considered some of the most challenging, and also, the curriculums that really set kids up for success as life continues. So it's our small size, our community vibe, and our incredibly rigorous academics that create a really, really cool school environment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's really good to get to know a little bit more about your school in that way and what makes it special. Thank you so much. If I can hear from Riverside, same question. What is something you want people to know about your school? Christine?
Oh my goodness. What is something I want somebody? I think that when children come to Riverside, that we are open to providing what it is that they need. I feel like we have a fairly experienced staff of teachers, yet a group that are willing to constantly be being critical about their practice, right? And meeting our needs, and meeting the needs of the kids who come in the building. So we don't seek to facilitate learning for those we wish we had. We are facilitating learning for those who are there, and try and do so in a meaningful way, keeping all of these things in perspective, making sure that we are equitable, making sure that we are culturally responsive, and that there is a cultural literacy that is happening, being mindful of how we talk to and about children. Again, from a growth perspective, not a deficit perspective. And I feel like during my tenure, we have made gigantic leaps forward in meeting that as part of the vision for our school and what we want for our school. I don't think that there isn't anyone on this panel who isn't going to feel like their curriculum is best for their community, but that's the responsibility of being the leader of the school. What is it that your school, or what you believe your school community needs? So like Verde, yes, we employ the use of Eureka Math because it builds a conceptual knowledge and understanding, right? Moving kids from kind of the concrete to this more abstract understanding and how we represent that. We use units of study for our language arts program with the phonics, reading, and writing, which seeks to provide a wealth of text. And I will say, for a lot of students of color, the opportunity to see themselves in the text is crucial to seeing themselves as readers, writers. So that's one of the things that I appreciate about that particular curriculum. So you come in the doors of Riverside, we are trying to, again, meet you where you are and provide the best supports academically, emotionally, that are available so that you thrive as a member of our community, as a Roadrunner, Riverside Roadrunners, so that you thrive in the community that's there.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Christine. Meeting you where you're at and serving you from there. It's a really great takeaway. Thank you for that. If I can hear from Allison at Chavez, and I would ask the next question, number 3, how would parents and students describe your school?
So I'll start with parents. Parents would definitely point out about Chavez that we have a team of teachers that really care for our kiddos, and they go above and beyond to make sure that they're supported both academically and social emotionally. They would say that we communicate well. We have a few different avenues that we use to communicate to parents to make sure that we're all hearing the same information and that we can collaborate well. Students, you might hear a lot of things, but I definitely hear that they say that they really love their teachers. They build really positive relationships with them. They enjoy their friends, and they enjoy some of the fun things that we do at Chavez, like our dances or our fun Fridays or some of our competitions. Students who are our 6th graders specifically would tell you that we really make them work hard. We're preparing them for middle school, and we're holding really high expectations for all students learning, but especially as we're getting ready to hand them off to Jessica at Helms. I think that's most of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Really, really appreciate it. And I'll ask the same question. How would parents and students describe your school to Jessica at Helm, since you just mentioned her?
Thank you. I think I'm going to start with the students on this one. I just did a listening circle right before we let off for distance learning, and our students overwhelmingly said that Helms feels like a family. They said they love their teachers. They can't believe how much their teachers care and make them try harder. So I think that was a good treat for my teachers to hear in the listening circle, just how much students feel seen. They feel like there's people they can go to. Middle school is a transition. This is an interesting time. We have 7th and 8th graders. They're going through a lot in and out of school with friends, and it can be more than just school at times that they need. And they really just feel like the staff at Helms holds that space for them, but is also a guide to just keep them going on a great path. Another thing I think you'd hear from the students is that they also get worked hard. So there's a lot of feeling like we have to be ready for high school. I think there's a little tradition here. We're always preparing our students for the next level, and they walk away from Helms feeling really accomplished. For our parents, overwhelmingly, they tell us, wow, you guys really know my child. I'm attending meetings constantly where they can't believe how many teachers are present, aware, showing them evidence of their learning, showing them what they think we could be doing together in a partnership. So parents have really communicated to me that Helms really feels like a community school. Whatever comes up, again, it could be things beyond classroom. We have a resource. We have somebody there to help you through it. So just a real feeling like we're in this together and there's a partnership. That's what the parents have been communicating to me over the years. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love that family feeling. If I can have West County answer the same question, how would parents and students describe your school?
Okay, well, at West County Mandarin School, really it comes down to a community, and it's a real strong community feel. We welcome all of our families to become involved. We do a lot of community building activities, and I think the parents really value the diverse community that we have, where not just the parents are invited to be involved, and you don't have to know Mandarin to be involved. We have parents that don't know English or Mandarin that are volunteers at our school. So there's a lot of parent involvement. In fact, our school was started as a new school. It's the newest school in the district, and it was started because a group of parents wanted a program like this, and the district went ahead and agreed. And so there's a lot of parent leadership. And I think the parents would also just say that their kids are happy. There's a real strong sense of joy and engagement at the school. And they really see a strong community of teachers and support staff that work with parents in a strong collaboration where everybody's working together for the same common mission and vision for student success. And then I would say that the students, what they would say is, first of all, they're really proud that they're learning. Most of our students do not speak Chinese at home. Many of our students are learning a third language. They may speak Spanish at home, for example. They're feeling a lot of pride in being able to speak another language, Mandarin, which many people think is very hard to learn, but for young kids, it's really quite easy for kids to learn a new language. And then on top of that, they love their friends, they love their teachers, and it's a place for me as a leader. What I see as a hallmark of success is when I see the kids in the morning running to school because running up to line up because they can't wait to get to class and see their friends and their teachers and learn. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I can already envision them like running, being excited to get into the classroom and learn. That's really great. So let's see here. If I can have, we're moving on, or rather, if I can have Jose de Leon from Richmond answer the same question. How would parents and students describe your school?
Unmuted. Richmond High School has over 1,500 students. So our goal is to make the school feel small. The way we do that is through academies. And what the students and parents enjoy of the academies is the small school feeling out of it. Each academy is about 300 students, and therefore the teachers can have a better connection with the students and the parents. And that communication between the parents and the student is what is mostly appreciated. It makes it feel like not such a big place. Additionally, we make our school as welcoming as possible by offering activities for parents after school in conjunction with adult education. And our community workers work very well to do outreach with their parents in order to make sure they understand what's happening in navigating high school. There's a lot of changes from middle school to high school, and that communication between the school and the parents are very important. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for explaining how you make the larger campus feel smaller for students. Really appreciate that. And if we can have Rebecca from Ford Elementary talk about or answer what unique experiences or characteristics are students leaving the school with, and how does your school culture / discipline policy align to this? That's question number 4 on the slide.
Mhm. Something that I think is unique to Ford and is really important to our school is our dual language immersion program. So bilingualism is really important to Ford and our community. So yeah, that's just such a strong program. We have really committed and strong teachers in that program. And also just parents are very committed, they really want their kids to be bilingual in English and Spanish, and to graduate Ford with that dual literacy and fluency in their home language and in English. So that's a really powerful experience for students at Ford. And then the question about how does your culture and discipline policy align to that? It's of course infused in our DLI program and in general. So I could speak a little bit. So we're a PBIS school, and that stands for Positive Behaviors, Interventions, and Supports. So that just means we lead with positivity at Ford. It's really important for us to show students what we want from them, to focus on the positive, and to build fun and enriching experiences for students. So to give you an example, in distance learning, we have teachers bringing in people from East Bay Parks. We've got like a snake program going. We had a virtual visit from Bess the Cow. So it's just really important to us at Ford to build in that whole school culture and positivity and give our students experiences with as many things as we can. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we're also a school very focused on restorative justice. So it's important for us to help students learn from their mistakes. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes too. And what's important is for us to reflect and learn and grow and understand how we impact each other. So those are some things to know about Ford.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. It's interesting you have the restorative justice approach and really the different activities. So thank you so much for that, introducing us to that. If I can have Eric from Verde K8 answer the same question, number 4.
Great. Thank you so much. Well, as I mentioned before, our mission is to provide a safe and racially equitable and inclusive environment. One thing that's unique about us is that we fundraised and have invested millions of dollars over the past years to ensure we have our school outfitted with the resources necessary to meet all of our students' unique and individual needs. We've built amazing relationships with our community partners to ensure we provide a diverse spectrum of services beyond our phenomenal classroom teachers in the classroom. You'll see this in personnel on campus entirely dedicated to ensuring the culture and climate of the school is joyful and inclusive. You'll see personnel on our campus entirely dedicated to serving the academic intervention needs of our students. Personnel on our campus dedicated to serving the mental health needs of our students. And also personnel solely dedicated to ensuring the empowerment of our parents. These are all partners that we wrap around the incredible teaching in Tier 1, upfront instruction that our teachers provide every day. Similar to other schools, we use the PBIS approach, which means we just shower our kids with love and positivity. We focus on strengths, we reward, we celebrate, we party. We really, really encourage learning and awesome, kind, and community-oriented behavior. And so you'll see us just celebrating weekly, monthly, big time adventures where kids kind of just feel like on top of the world, making sure that they feel loved and respected and cherished along the way. And then, at the bottom of it all, we care deeply about relations. We believe that our teachers need to have safe and trusting relationships with students. And if they don't do that, then students will not follow them, will not care about what they're teaching. We believe that our teachers and our staff, we all need to have that trust with each other so we can push each other, hold each other accountable. And we also believe that our parents need to trust us. They need to be partners at the table, and we need to bring them along with us, and they need to push us as well. So we need to trust them with that feedback. But ultimately, it comes down to that love and respect, and that's the relational component that makes Verde K so special.
Thank you so much. I was taking notes. If I can have the same question, question number 4 from Jessica at Helms. What unique experiences or characteristics are students leaving the school with? And how does your school culture/discipline policy align to this?
I have to say I've been enjoying this because I worked with Rebecca last year at Helms. She was my vice principal, and just hearing and everyone, this whole team of Richmond principals that I've been working with, just hearing how much there's continuity. We are all PBIS schools. We were very proud to get the silver, last year, and just knowing that we all are doing whatever it takes for our students. So I just want to highlight and lift that up. I'm so proud to be in this room with the other principals. And I think we all share specifically the won't give up on our students. And I think how that translates in Helms, and very specifically this unique experience I see our Helms students transform, is this true belief in themselves, that they can do it, they can overcome their challenges. Like I mentioned earlier, middle school presents all kinds of challenges and they're unique to every student. Some are more social, some are more academic. But I think when they come to Helms, they really walk away realizing I do have it within me to overcome this. I do have my friends, my family, my school to support me. I think that is unique, and it has to do with the culture. It has to do with PBIS. It has to do with positive behaviors, interventions, and supports. It has to do with feeling like you have people you can go to and that your needs are being met when you're there. It has to do with a discipline policy. Like my colleagues have said, that it really is embedded in restorative justice. You really have to believe that you can restore the situation. You can help students with perspective taking. I'm sorry, my 5-year-old's crying. But those are just okay. So those are just a couple of things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Really appreciate it. Your little one's super cute, and this is where we're at, right? So it's all good. I'm gonna also ask West County Mandarin K-8 school to answer that same question, question number 4.
Thank you. Well, West County Mandarin School, unique characteristics that students would finish the school are really what we had talked about in our vision, we're really committed to the whole child at the school. And that means not just their academic growth, not just their ability to become bilingual in English and in Mandarin, but also their social emotional skills, their ability to think critically, their ability to solve problems and apply what they're learning to solving real life problems, because that's what we know that competitive universities and colleges are looking for, and what corporations are looking for, and what is looking for if you want to be an entrepreneur, is to have those thinking skills and to be a well-rounded individual. And so we really seek to foster that. And that's part of the International Baccalaureate Program Learner Profile that we foster in our students. You know, values such as being a risk taker, not being afraid to make mistakes, because we know that by making mistakes, that's how we learn, and that's okay. So we try to create an environment where kids feel comfortable to take risks and are not afraid to speak up and share their ideas and their thoughts. Other key values such as perseverance, where students learn that, you know, they just got to keep trying. They'll get there. Just keep on trying. And so we encourage that, as well as values such as being a thinker, as I mentioned before, being able to think critically about things, not just know facts, but know how to apply facts and to be a problem solver and a change maker. And then, of course, a caring student, someone who cares for others, who proactively practices kindness towards others, and one that believes in equity and can thrive in a diverse environment that we live in today. So those are the key characteristics that we want our students to come out from our school, not just becoming bilingual, but to have these full, well-rounded qualities as an individual to set them up for success. And as far as our discipline policy, how that would align with that, well, as other principals have mentioned, restorative justice is very important to us. In our school, we look at repairing the harm and and looking at how we can fix whatever happened, so that students can learn from their mistakes and we can heal the community and keep moving forward. And lastly, I just want to say our school is a school of choice. We're not a neighborhood school. We're open to families of all backgrounds, all who live in all different areas of the district. But if you decide that this is not a good fit, I just want you to know that, you know, we have some great neighborhood schools in our district. I know all these principals personally, and I know that your children would also thrive in their neighborhood schools as well. So I just want you to know that there are a lot of great options here. And as a parent, just the most important thing for you is to be a great advocate for your child. That's what I tell the parents at my school. And I know that that's a real key right there. So thank you.
Thank you so much for that uplift of all the schools and all the schools in West Contra Costa. I really, really appreciate that. And I see a lot of great kudos going around towards each other, which means there is definitely that interconnectedness and communication between all the different school leaders. So I'll add a question that is not here, but I feel it's relevant because it's been coming up. And it's about parents. How do the schools engage parents in their child's learning growth, to put it one way? And if I could start with, let's see, if I can start with Rebecca at Ford Elementary.
Yeah, thank you. Something that's really just been amazing about joining the Ford community this year is learning about our community and our parent engagement. So we have a really strong PTA and just amazing leadership within our parent groups and organizations. So yeah, parent engagement, our parents are here, they're active. We have such a supportive community. We have a parent tutoring group where parents and our community tutor students after school. We have ELAC for parents to advise over English learners, the SSC for advice on the budget and school plan. But definitely our PTA is our strongest and largest parent organization. And yeah, I think for us, it's about a balance of just leadership and empowering parents as leaders. And then also just about listening and asking parents, what do you need? How can we support you? And how can we be there for you?
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I'll ask the same question. How does your school engage parents to Jose in Richmond High School?
You're muted.
Thank you. I'm muted. Thank you for the question. I think some of the same structures as other schools in the Richmond family. We have parents participating in school site council to help us develop the school plan. Also part of ELAC. ELAC is growing every year. Also, we have the African American Parent Advisory Committee that helps also with our planning and strategizing for the school. Additionally, through the academies reach out to their students and their parents for different reasons, either to participate in different activities or to counsel academically for the students. Through our community workers and our front office, we also have opportunities for our parents to come and participate and volunteer on campus. And I think the biggest part is in high school, I think sometimes parents believe that their students is older and self-sufficient, and we need to continue the same support for high school students as elementary school students. I think that is the biggest key, is we will reach out to the parents and the parents can reach out to us, and together we'll support the student through high school. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. The same question will go to Allison at Chavez Elementary. How does your school engage parents?
So I think our first step in engaging parents is really just making sure that we're constantly viewing our parents as partners. We tell our parents that they were their first and they'll be their last child's teacher, and the work that we're doing alongside supports the foundation that they've built. And so we really value open communication. We hold high expectations in terms of communicating with parents. If they reach out, we're making sure to follow up and support in the best possible way. We have regular coffee clubs for parents, so that's welcome to any parent. They can come and drop in and ask questions, learn from each other. We have a wonderful group of mostly mom volunteers, and they really support each other in a lot of ways, and in ways that the school couldn't necessarily do. So it's really fantastic to see. We offer through the district ESL classes for parents who want to build their proficiency in English. We do regular family nights. Our teachers do a fantastic job running workshops throughout the year for parents and families to come and do a lot of make and take activities for English and math and art, and just lots of fun stuff to help extend learning at home. We partner with outside organizations such as Latina Sanctuary, BBK, to also support our parents in different requests that they have. For example, last year they wanted to know more about cooking, and so we brought in opportunities for them to have cooking classes together. And then I have two fantastic scouts who do just amazing work, reaching out to parents, bridging the gap between teacher and parent sometimes, keeping the pulse of the parents. What are they hearing and how can we best support them?
Thank you so much for that response. It really gives us a pulse for parent engagement at your school. And next, I want to ask the same question. How do you engage parents at your school? For Christine at Riverside Elementary.
I think, like a lot of my colleagues, we do Jessica spoke kind of the through line of elementary to middle and kind of culminating with students going to Richmond High with a De Leon. So we also have an ELAC, we have an African American task force at our site. We have a coffee chat. We've offered Parent University to folks, and so that parents are able to actually learn how to be advocates for their students. But to be completely honest, I don't, while we have a PTA, but I think that people participated as they could. You know, life moves really quickly, and I don't know that folks always had opportunity to engage in the way that they might want to. One of the unintended or unexpected benefits, quite honestly, of the school site being closed is that teachers and parents have forged tighter relationships, right? We are in more communication with parents as we need to be given our circumstances. I don't know that anyone could have anticipated that when this whole thing started. But in speaking with teachers, it has actually allowed a barrier to be removed. And so that's one thing, particularly when you are working sometimes in communities of color, that folks feel that there are barriers to their participation or that there are limits in how they can participate. Well, this has removed that as a concern. And so I think as a community, we have all grown in that, right? In assuming good intention, first of all, which is always going to be important as you are building relationship and building trust. So, you know, in thinking about what's something that's unique about all of our schools, and I think my colleagues would concur that while there are lots of things to complain about not being in the building, one thing that I hope carries over to whenever we return and whatever that might look like is that teachers, parents, and students recognize that we really need to work in an authentically collaborative way towards the benefit of the kids that we serve in our communities.
Thank you so much. Thank you for really making me think about, you know, not only how do we work with parents, but how have you worked with parents during this special time? And what are some of the things that you're, in essence, taking away from it, right? As a silver lining, in a sense. All right. And so we're going to ask maybe one or two more questions, and we're going to open up the floor for questions from the participants, the attendees. If you have any questions or you want to ask something, like get your questions ready, or you can also raise your hand. You can ask your questions aloud and to ask your question aloud, use the raise hand button, which you'll see at the bottom of your screen. And if you have questions and you want to have me ask them, you want to have the moderator ask them, you can ask your question using the Q&A button, which is also on the bottom of your screen. And that's how the raise hand looks on the left, and the Q&A button will look on the right. So as you get those questions ready, I'll ask just one or two more, and that way you'll have your burning questions to ask. So one more question. I'll ask the same question of West County, a Mandarin K-8 school. How do you engage your parents?
So yeah, West County Mandarin School parent engagement is crucial. I would say I really liked what Christine Hatcher of Riverside said about that. You really need to have authentic parent engagement. And what that means is not just checking the box and having some gatherings where parents can come, but really do outreach. And the way we do that is to have something called distributive leadership, where we try to make as many people in the parent communities as leaders as possible. And so, you know, through our PTA and our organization there, what we do is we set up lots of different committees. We have an inclusion and diversity committee that just looks out to how we can become a more inclusive and welcoming community to families of all backgrounds and students of all backgrounds. We have a facilities committee that looks at how to improve the facility of our school. We have a communications committee that tries to get the word out in the multiple languages. In our school, we have families that speak Portuguese and Spanish and Cantonese and Mandarin and Nepali and Arabic and French and English and all different languages. And so we work hard to make sure that all families feel like they're welcome and that we lower the barriers to families to participate. And part of that authentic engagement is to make sure that, you know, the volunteer opportunities are not just for families that, you know, have a college degree, for example, or parents, or, you know, have a certain specific specialized skill or teaching background, but they're open to all families to get involved in the classrooms and to help in different ways. You know, so that's really very, very critical to have that real inclusive engagement. We have an African-American site advisory team that's very active. In fact, you know, we just met last week to plan out how we're doing specific enrollment to our African-American community. And then we brainstormed and looked at different networks we could do for outreach in that regard. And then they advised on helping to plan our African-American History Month celebrations and just other things to make a real authentic environment for our students that has parent input. For me, I always tell parents, the more involved the parents are, the better the school. I mean, there's a lot of research around that. So I say, please get involved. And I also tell parents some of the best programs we have at our school, these different activities after school or what have you, it's because a parent came up and said, hey, at another school, they're doing this. Can we do that? Or, you know, I know somebody who might be available for that. And I tell them, you know, if we can afford it and it's part of our school, it's aligned with our school's district, you know, our school's mission and vision, then let's do it, you know. And so I try to have a real open door with families in that regard. So again, it comes down to really trying to have authentic, real engagement with all of our families, as Christine was talking about. Thank you.
Thank you. I love all the different ways that you're engaging parents and really finding strengths to really building community and benefiting the learner, right? Benefiting the student themselves. So we do have a question in the Q&A that has come up. Yay, thank you so much. Good job, audience. Really appreciate it. Let's see, we're going to, so the question is in Spanish, and I'll translate it. Have you done training for the parents on how to access a Zoom session, and which are the applications that are used to communicate, and have they been shown how to use that? So have there been Zoom trainings for parents? I feel like this might be a question anybody can answer, and I'm sure that it's more campus to campus, but I definitely want to direct it to someone so that it can be answered. So let's try Christine at Riverside Elementary. How have you gone about the Zoom meetings and trainings for parents?
So we, like a lot of the schools across West Contra Costa Unified, we have a technology lead. And actually she'll be joining me our technology lead will be joining me in the breakout session. But what we did is we actually, and I'm working, I never mentioned our school community worker, and I'm sure we all think our school community outreach workers are the best, but mine really is. Her name is Beatriz Ortega. So Sarah Napoliello, who is one of my 6th grade teachers, along with Mrs. Ortega, set up opportunities for parents to get classes. So we were able to kind of working through their kids, interestingly enough, showing parents how to log on to a Zoom meeting that was done in real time, which is interesting because we had to have we tried to have some sessions before we actually shut schools down in March. So with a lot of compressed sessions. But teachers also did videos. And so through the platforms that their kids access, they were able to see those. Also, we have a fantastic tech department, educational tech department. I have to give, all credit to Lori Roberts and Darcy Long. They created the most comprehensive library of videos for students, parents, families on how to utilize all of these technologies that we found ourselves, working with. And they also did this fantastic job of curating that information and really kind of synthesizing it in rudimentary terms, not to insult anyone, but really kind of given that we were moving really fast to keep up with something that we didn't know a whole lot about at that time. They really stepped in and offered an incredible foundation of support. And through this cohort of technology leads, I feel fairly confident in saying they continue to provide kind of site-specific support as identified by site leadership, and then working with, like I said, school community outreach workers, beacon directors, et cetera. Anyone who could put their hands on and in to be supportive.
Well, that's great. Now everybody knows where to go to get that curated list of Zoom goodness, training for parents. I feel like that can be really a big effort, and really in the crunch time, it could be very challenging, but I'm glad that you've done a really good job, it sounds like. If I can ask the same question for Jose from Richmond High School, how are Zoom trainings and meetings for parents organized and conducted?
So thank you. So the way we started working with the parents is through the Friday virtual coffee meeting with the principal, showing them how to navigate the school's website, and through the website, how to contact the school. Secondly, learning how to use PowerSchool is very important, showing parents how to communicate with their teachers through email, and the importance of having an email account was another conversation we had with the parents. And the other way we communicate with parents is through Remind, where parents get a text of something that is going on campus, or something that's coming up on campus. A lot of the meetings we have with student and parents, we have parents that are able to use Zoom through their phone, and we're actually depending a lot on the students and the technology at home to make sure they connect for different meetings, whether it be with the counselor, whether it be with special education department. So showing how to navigate those instruments are very important.
Well, it's really exciting to see how y'all have set up this additional layer of communication with parents, and how you've really been able to navigate the technology in such a quick time, and with the various levels of access to technology, or experience with it. So really exciting. I encourage anybody who has a question to go ahead and raise your hand, or post it through the Q&A slide. If anybody has a question. That was a really, really good question, by the way, about how parents are being trained through Zoom and other platforms as well.
We actually have a question from the app, and it's towards Helms. It's asking information about the internationals school. If we can get more information.
Yes, you can see my big smile because I'm so excited and proud of our international school. So Helms opened the Helms International Academy, HIA, last school year. It was our inaugural year, right off the heels of Richmond High's international school opening. So we have a partnership with the International Public School Network. And basically, it's for newcomer students in their first 4 years in the country. So it's a very specialized program where the teachers of all the core teachers, English, history, science, math, are highly trained on how to teach their content with language completely integrated. Our students who are transitioning from other countries in their first 4 years need environments that are safe, need environments safe to make mistakes, to have, to be verbal, and what we found is as much as we tried to do that before the International Academy, having them have a safe space where they're all together, I can't even tell you how much more I'm seeing our students talking, writing, speaking, trying new things, and then really feeling like their needs are met. They have smaller class sizes than the rest of the school. They're around 20 students for every one teacher right now. And yeah, it's just really exciting. And all the students get to take an elective course. Again, we work a lot with Richmond High School and just vertically aligning, like what does it look like for our students when they get to also Richmond High's international program. But it's unique, it's special, and it's really supporting our students with those giant leaps we're trying to push them towards with their language integration.
Just in addition, is that the internationals program at Helms and at Richmond High is to augment the English learners' learning abilities. Once the students from Helms come to Richmond High in the Internationals Academy, they immediately start not only receiving high school credits, but also all the classes that they take, except for PE, start counting as college prep classes. Usually ELD 1, ELD 2, and ELD 3 do not count towards a university. Through the program of the International Academy, we're able to, as soon as students get into the program at the high school level, they start earning the credits necessary to give them choices for continuing their education, as well as learning English within the program. Thank you.
Well, that was a great response. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you so much, Jose, for jumping in and really providing even more context about this international program that you have. So that was the last question that we received from the app. And I feel that we've covered that. The next thing that's going to happen, so we're right on time. I wanted to say really thank you and kudos to each of you panelists for being here. You each did so great. I learned so much from the schools, from the different schools, and I hope that everybody in the audience was able to learn as much as I did or more. And as much as we learned here, the next thing is to